People of Birmingham, rejoice. The 2022 Commonwealth Games are yours, and, with it, an economic bonanza. To West Midlands Mayor Andy Street, it is nothing less than a fantastic Christmas present for our region. It is promised that regeneration, 1,000 new homes, improvements in public transport, 4,500 jobs in the West Midlands every year until 2022, and 950 extra jobs per year thereafter will all follow. Birmingham City Council's Cabinet report has found that the Games will generate a gross economic benefit of £442 million to the city and one of £1.1 billion to the UK, if only it were that simple. The world over, hosting elite sports tournaments has proved to be an exercise in bogus benefits produced by consultancies, uncontrolled costs like going to the pub and only budgeting for the first drink, and vain politicians losing sight of what cities actually need the cash spent on: schools, hospitals and homes. Consider London 2012. This would be a rigorously costed event that would boost the UK's image, and, most importantly, deliver benefits far after the party was over. Legacy is probably 9/10 of what this process is about, declared Sebastian Coe, chairman of London 2012, in 2006. When London successfully bid for the Games in 2005. It did so with a strict budget, £2.4 billion. After the Games, the government proudly declared that London was over £500 million under budget. Sounds great, until you realise that the revised budget was over £9 billion. Even the government's stated final figure of £8.77 billion understates the true cost of the Games, £13.5 billion, when taking into account the opportunity costs of the use of public officials, according to Andrew Zimbalist, author of a book on hosting sports events. Yes, London 2012 led to some significant regeneration in East London. It is just that this would have been several billion less expensive without hosting the Games. The lasting victors of London 2012 were West Ham United's owners, who received a £700 million subsidy of taxpayers' money for the new stadium, and what of the tourism influx which Birmingham is now promised? People will certainly come to Birmingham to watch the Commonwealth Games, but history suggests that at least as many will be dissuaded from going. When London hosted the 2012 Games, it actually received 6% fewer tourists than at the same time in 2011. East London has undergone much regeneration since the 2012 Games. Getty. None of these problems are exclusive to sport, they affect all public construction projects. In 1997, the new Scottish Parliament building was budgeted at £40 million. As costs soared, a strict £195 million cap on costs was imposed in 2000. By the time the building was finished in 2004, it cost over £400 million. The psychologist Daniel Kahneman calls this phenomenon the planning fallacy. Costs are downplayed, benefits are exaggerated, and those behind projects are incapable of learning from the abject failures of others. As Bent Flyvbjerg, an expert on mega-projects, including sports events, has observed, a budget reserve is to contractors as red meat is to lions, and they will devour it. For the people of the West Midlands, who are expected to pay £180 million to dilute the financial burden of Birmingham residents alone, and the UK government taxpayers who have so far fronted up to £560 million, meaning those in the West Midlands will effectively pay for the Games twice. Perhaps the best thing to recommend the Commonwealth Games is that it is not the Olympics. Fabricated benefits are far less, and so are the true costs, even if taxpayers can expect their bill for the 2022 Games to be repeatedly revised upwards on the sly. Still, even the Commonwealth Games can descend into a festival of opulence, a party for those who can afford it, wholly ignoring what a city's residents really want and need. The 2010 Games in New Delhi were particularly shameful. After a promised economic boon, sounds familiar? All that was left for Indian taxpayers was a hefty bill, diverting money that could have been far better spent addressing poverty. Whether you organise the Commonwealth Games in Delhi or in Melbourne, the state of people living right opposite the Games site will remain the same. India's former sports minister Mani Shankar Iyer lamented before the 2010 Games. The 2010 Games in New Delhi failed to deliver on their early promises. Getty. Last Commonwealth